Sorry, I was talking to my wife. Apologies. Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's Vladis. How are y'all doing? Let me turn on the light 1 second. Sorry, it's a little chaotic. My wife. Hey, go with mommy. Okay, thank you. So yeah, stop lying. You re-messaged in Discord. No, like my wife just got home. They're actually gonna be leaving to my father-in-law's house right now. All right, so Jesus Christ, man. I don't know what's going on at Intrepid right now. So yeah, like major patch, or not even, I say major in quotes because it was literally a one-liner again on a Friday. And to me, this thing, and I said a lot in the in the Discord. If you saw my messages in the general chat, just Discord, it's not really the decision. It's more so like, oh, you know, we went too far this time. And it's like, I've heard that so many times. And the fact that y'all can't, like, as a team, understand, like, to go either smaller in percentages and not, like, swing the pendulum so far, but even more so, like, not being so quick. If y'all don't have, like, a concise, firm solution, don't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason to push out something just to push out something. Like, I don't understand that as a mentality. And I understand that y'all are against the gun. We still don't have the PTR of this, you know, major patch that Margaret was talking about. Y'all have a lot of stuff y'all been working on. I clearly understand all that. But I think it's a deeper philosophy of understanding the community better. Because this just, and I said it, you know, respectively, you know, to Roshan, that this is a very tone deaf thing. Based, if you just, anyone were to go look on the feedback in the Alpha 2 general, or go to the Alpha 2 feedback of people talking about the food buffs, talking about the settlement boons and buffs, all you need to do as a dev or as a team is just analyze what's been going on and see what the community has been saying. And this is very much a counterintuitive move and feels like none of that was done. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, that to me is what really disappointed me, is the fact that there just seem to be things that just didn't need to be done. Like, it's very clear. Like, it just didn't need to be done. And then now you're having to go through this rigmarole of, like, wasting time by implementing this change, having this whole downtime for this change just for it to be reverted, to then having to go back on downtime, to having, you know what I'm saying? It's so much that y'all didn't even need to go through. And I don't know what steps or parameters you guys have as a team or what's going on, but it really scares me that you can't even just, like, read the room, right? You know what I mean? Like, again, like, I'm not saying that y'all have to be perfect as devs. I understand that y'all are going to make, you know, sometimes, like, bad decisions, right? Like, shit, we fucked up. Like, I totally get that. Like, I totally understand that. But to me, it was just more like, what's going on? You know, like, that to me was just the thing that I didn't understand. And why is it doubling up in the Twitch chat now? Oh my God, I'm probably gonna have to delete this whole messaging bot thing. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me see, this has been going on since May of last year. Well, I feel like this has been going on for quite some time during the Alpha 2 process. And I think there just needs to be more checks and balances with things that you would have to know would be so dismantling to the server infrastructure and also towards the player economy. It's to not know. Again, this one-liner seemed to probably a person like, oh, this is just a one-liner patch, but this one line was a huge decision, you know, that clearly and drastically would change the gameplay for a lot of people, and also kind of pull up the ladder, so to speak, on the people who did what they did early And now the people that are trying to do it later are also paying the price because it's like, oh, well, we crafted our gear first. Y'all just got fucked, basically. And it just, that doesn't feel good. This would have been a decision to wait and remedy and also ask for feedback. Like, y'all literally do these monthly things on like, hey, you know, we want more targeted feedback on this particular thing. If y'all needed more from us, we would have easily would have been like, okay, like here, and just basically copied past a lot of the things that people already saying in the feedback forum in the Discord and put that in that new general thingy or whatever, right? Like to me, I feel like it kind of scares me because, again, not saying that y'all aren't privy to making mistakes, but it's more so the fact that I feel like of the not listening to what the community has been saying regarding this particular topic and just rolling it out anyway. Like that to me is like what's really been like getting to me, you know? I know I'm usually a doomer, but to be honest, when the dev team fucks up and has to roll something back, I don't make a big deal about it. Unless that is what they expect when they say a patch. And again, like I'm not saying like the sky is falling, right? But to me, this particular decision, because I play solo, like you guys see me when I play, like I'm on my fighter, I play solo. I've literally been saving all of my materials myself to craft items myself. And we all know how inefficient and crazy long that takes, right? But I'm doing that to myself. Like no one's forcing me to do that. I'm doing that. But I understand, like I see, because I'm a part of the community. Even I know, who isn't even affected by this change, know how just dumb, really. Like, let's just call it what it is. It's a dumb decision. Even though it doesn't affect me clearly. I mean, clearly it does affect me, but in the grand scheme of things of what I'm doing, like it kind of doesn't. It's wild. Like that to me was just so wild. And again, I just hope that, you know, this is a learning lesson. And I would have hoped that it would have been a learning lesson the last time, the time before that, and probably the time before that. But, you know, I want this game to be good. Like I do. And I think whoever is making these decisions, or even if it's as a team, you know, there needs to be more checks and balances. And there needs to be things like, because there's going to be things that y'all are going to do that y'all did check with the community, and y'all did do things that were, or may do something that is unpopular by the community. But the one thing that I love about Ghostcrawler as a dev back when he was the lead game designer in Mist of Pandaria is he did these water cooler dev discussions of explaining the philosophy of certain changes in the patch notes. Because a lot of companies, when they give a patch note, give zero context of why this change was made, what was going on with the game, and why they, as the devs, thought this change would be good overall. And even though you may not see it in the short term, this is our long-term thinking with this particular change to the game. And again, like, I think insight to that is all well and good. But I feel like this particular thing, since we've already been in early access for pretty much almost over a month now at this point, a little over a month, this would have been a great thing to do at the start of a brand new wipe. This would have been a perfect change to then test. Okay, well, we've had boons and particular percentage of recipes at this particular percentage. So then when we wipe, like now we're going to go and be at these percentages. And is this something that we're comfortable with as a gaming community? And is this something we're comfortable with the dev side of things? Like, I think that's totally like, you know, valid, you know, in that sense of things. I don't know what's going on with quality rating. I'm like 700 quality in spoils, and I've yet to see a Lego item. I'm 50 mining in 1, 2, and 25 on the other. Yeah, I think honestly, we're probably never going to know the hidden number magic behind the things. And I was actually watching a little bit of Flanker's review of his first impressions on the early access. And, you know, he said something about not being a fan of hidden breakpoints. And I totally agree with that. I think hidden breakpoints, like, oh, well, you had 535 quality rating when you should have had 550 quality rating to then bump up to the next tier. Like, that's shit. Like, and again, I don't know if that's the case. It very well could be that it's just bad RNG, right? I don't know. We all don't know. But I hope for the dev's sake, if there is hidden breakpoints, my feedback, and I think everyone's feedback that I've heard so far, please don't. Like, please don't do that. I think that is, I have never heard anyone say, oh yeah, hidden breakpoints, amazing. We love hidden breakpoints. Like, who doesn't love hidden breakpoints? Like, yeah, I think overall it's as universal as, you know, static rarity at this point. Just don't do it. Just, if y'all have it done, revert that, you know, get rid of that for sure. Let me see. They did the exact same thing a few phases ago with the buffed mobs and lower drop rates after the main push hit level 25. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, and I said this in the Discord, this isn't the first time. This isn't even the 12th time that something like this has happened. Like, it needs to be better. You know what I mean? In the sense of checks and balances. Like, again, I think it's just more so like, I don't know if it's unwilling, because I don't think that's the right word, but I think maybe being too hasty to read the room and to understand, like, I get it as a dev, you probably see numbers that we don't see, right? Clearly you guys see a problem, but it's a problem in an alpha, right? Like, let's also, like, we're trying to understand, we're testers here, but as the dev, y'all can't be too crazy either. Like, in understanding, like, like the numbers are a little bit overtuned. We kind of hit the mark there. Maybe in the next phase, we should probably adjust it to this percentage, but maybe to get more insight on these things, let's ask the community more specifically about breakpoints or about, you know, quality rating and what they expect from quality rating to better tune, you know, for the next wipe that we do have. That would have been a way better decision-making process and a way better checks and balances thing, to just also not look like fools a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I just, again, I feel like, you know, again, we're going to make mistakes as saying things like are good and maybe, oh, wow, they actually weren't good. This was actually a very terrible decision. You know, we're not going to get it right at all the time either as the community, just as much as I know you guys aren't going to get it right. But it is very scary to see, you know, all this day feels like a time wasted thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, people working at Intrepid probably feel like now, I know Nice made the thing in general chat earlier about, imagine like feeling good about what you released today for your patch and you're about to ready to go home to then say it's going to be reverted and be like, hey, can you stay late, Kyle? Fuck, it's Friday, dude. Like, I don't know why. I honestly thought y'all were going to do y'all's patches on Tuesdays. Like, what happened to that? I remember Steven saying, like, not the last live stream, but the stream before that, that Tuesdays were going to be like the major patches or like things. And I know this technically isn't a major patch, but I mean, just save, like, unless it's something super game breaking, which, you know, again, I don't know how far to the extent, because I know people were literally saying that they were literally able to get rares and by quality rating alone, able to make epics with rares. So clearly, like, I know you guys saw a problem. But it's literally a problem in an alpha, right? Like, if you leave it there and we all know that that's happening, then everybody can be able to catch up in that way. And at the end of the day, we kind of know that it's going to wipe eventually. So it's kind of a who cares kind of thing. Like, that's my thing. Like, I just don't, I don't get it. All the hardcore guilds have access to all this info. They accomplished, let me see. Sorry, the chat just moved like super fast, real fast. Hidden breakpoints have been in the game. Any data miner will tell you if you ask them. Well, I think if there is, like I said, the hidden data miner, I think that needs to go away. I think it does. It needs to go away. There's no reason to have a hidden breakpoint. I think it just needs to scale up linearly with not these like hidden thresholds to be there as well. You see one thing about this phase that's making it hard for me to the unknown calculations on rarity and gear. I need 1200 snowdrop, 500 spindle, 800 coconut wood, 700 copper, etc., etc., and I can't calculate to see the bottom rarity I need to make heroic or epic. And I think honestly too, it could be a UI issue, but I also feel like to a certain extent it could be something that Intrepid doesn't want us to see. And if that's feedback for them, why? If y'all are making it this hard, for what purpose? Like, I'm curious. Like, and it would be nice. Like, again, I mentioned the water cooler dev discussions in WoW from Greg, and I don't know if that can be done, but I would love, because I know Roshan gets all this data back to the devs, and I know the devs are super busy, but it would be very nice to understand like what challenges you guys have or maybe understanding more from us, the community, about certain things in the game that you guys want to tweak, but maybe are afraid to, or maybe want more insight on, ask. Like, I think open it up to the discussion like that. That's what an open development, in my opinion, is. And I don't know if we've really had any actual back and forth. We've had a lot of forth. We had a lot of us telling you guys, but it's mostly just radio silence up until maybe like a monthly live stream, to where, you know, Steven gets on and then talks about like a lot of the big issues from the community and everything like that, which is great. But I think also just having the context, you know, on paper to say like, hey, this change here, this is something that we've been toying with, or even just giving us like angles, right? Like, you guys are saying that you guys are very agile and being able to switch because you guys are in the process and not finished. Well, let us in on that process. If you guys are in a fork of the road about a certain system design or a system change, ask us. We're thinking about either going A or B. What do you guys like more? Or what? And again, I'm not saying that we're having to do the dev work for you, but if you guys are both kind of split as a dev team on A or B, and you need a deciding breakpoint factor, that's where we come in as the community, right? Like, I mean, isn't that like, I don't understand, like that's what I always thought that this was supposed to be, is an actual back and forth of like the things that we're feeling, the things that we're finding fun, the things that we aren't finding fun. And there's a lot of things that we do see a little bit into the future of our own imagination on certain systems, because we're not in the same discussions as you guys. We're not, you know, we're not, you know, in the talks and meetings that y'all are doing design wise. So if you guys are having trouble with certain system changes, ask us. You know what I mean? Like, you know, Steven's on Reddit all the time, like on Discord all the time. Like, it would be very nice to see like, hey, we are trying to make certain decisions regarding this system, and because you guys are here, because you guys want to be here to make this game great, like, we really need feedback on this. This is something that, you know, is very impactful towards the game. And I think settlements, especially the buffs that they provide, is a very important thing to nail. And we all want it to be nailed correctly. And we have to work together. And it feels like we're kind of working alone, and so are you guys. And why is that? Like, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's just a very confusing day. And mind you, I was with my child all day. Like, I was taking care of my kids, and when all this stuff happened, I was waiting for the patch, and I was hoping and coping for like potentially like an actual good, you know, somewhat major patch. And it was just a one-liner. But then when I read the line, I was like, what? Like, this doesn't make sense. You see, please let them know crafting cost for leatherworking is crazy. I bought 800 plus wolf carcasses. I'm about to throw up if I see, oh my God, bro. Why did you do that? Like, I mean, I bless your heart, dude. Like, that's crazy. Like, especially with hunting being as broken as it is, that is nutty. I mean, that's crazy. Let me see, release too early, even for early access. Let me see, it's almost like people predicted everything was going to happen. I think, again, like, there's certain people that are loving this because, you know, they think, oh, this is Intrepid's incompetence and everything like that. And I feel like in a certain way, like, this is a level of like, bro, like, what are you guys doing? Like, come on. Like, this is, I mean, and again, Steven had to come in. I mean, I understand Steven can't always give the check of like being everywhere all at once. I mean, he's one freaking person. He can't be the decision maker all the time. And this decision probably has some accountability on the team that created this or made this decision. And I feel like if y'all can't come to like a unanimous decision, or if you guys haven't had the check and balances of making sure, like, and it's not saying you have to check with us as a community, right? Like, that's not what I'm trying to say, but to even look at like what we've been saying, because this has been something we've been saying for over a week now. Like, I've seen it. And again, I'm not even doing high-end crafting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even in it. Like, I'm not a high-end guild member of like crafting like epic or legendary stuff. And even I know, and I've seen the conversations that have been had from people about quality rating, about the settlement buffs. And it's like, for y'all not even to see that and to, you know, to do that, like, it's a little worrying. You know what I'm saying? Like, that to me is like what I'm mostly talking about. It just, it's very worrying. and I hope it gets better. I want it to get better. And this is why I'm here. Like, I was actually planning to go live later because I was going to go on my usual time after like probably 7 or 7:30 p.m. But I feel like because, you know, Discord was just on fire today, I was like, you know what, let me go on. And my wife got home early and she said, you know, I'll just take them to my dad's, and, you know, that way I get a break, you know, she'll get a break because, you know, grandparents will take care of the kids and she can do her work and everything like that. So let me say, I'm blown away that there is no solo content yet. You should be able to get some gear just from solo content. Yeah, I think honestly, like if the early Fatui experience, which is the first time user experience, tells us anything, you know, you do get gear from being solo, but it stops, right? Like the entire process stops at level 7, really. I mean, technically people say level 1 through 10, but I mean, yes, you can get like, you can elongate it to that part of time, but let me see. Vengi, thank you so much for the follow. And also Sal H409, thank you so much for the follow as well. Thank you. Hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. But yeah, it's kind of nuts. It's kind of wild. You see hundreds of fans of the project called this in early November when Steven announced coming to Steam. This was a critical error. They're not ready. Well, I mean, again, not being ready for an alpha like is one thing, but early access, and this is why I said they should have pushed it, like, or they should not go on Steam. And for me, I'm going to be honest, I was more worried about the critical reception. I was more worried about the reviews. But also, like, I've been here for a year. I kind of know the cadence of updates. I kind of know like how Intrepid handles updates and handles certain things. And I just didn't want a major audience to see that quite yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold on real fast. Like, I'm getting like blown up by people real fast on, want to see what's going on. Okay. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff that I just wasn't understanding basically. You can get gear even in the solo and endgame. Well, yes, you can. Like, I think if you get all common radiant gear, like you can grind. Now, gear drops from mobs is not the greatest right now. I mean, that's for sure. And I think for the community, a lot of people, you know, when Lazy P was talking about, you know, opening up opening up your sandbox brain instead of being so theme parky. I think I don't think people want quests to fall off at level 10. Like, and just have like very sparingly quests from 10 through level 50. I don't think people really want that. I think people actually want a legit questing experience from levels 1 through 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot to like do, I'm sure, from their end, but I think if they don't do it, like, I think they're losing a huge portion of the audience. That's for sure. And maybe that's what they want. I mean, again, it's their game. Like, I'm just letting them know, like, the things that I've seen, the things that I've heard people talk about. Let me see. I am 43 mining. I hit 1 legendary, legendary copper, 1 legendary slate. That was before I just got upgraded to journeyman, mining bags and better gear I got. That's with a novice shirt. Interesting. Optional questing, maybe. Well, again, in a sandbox, everything is technically optional. If you're not a questing person, you don't have to do it. Theme parks force you down questing. I just want questing from 1 through 50 to be available for people who want to do it. I'm not saying it has to be mandatory. If you want to completely skip questing, go right ahead. Like, and again, I think there should be multiple facets of leveling up. This is why, you know, gathering, processing, and crafting gives you experience, because that's one whole loop you can do if you don't like questing, but nor you don't like mob grinding. I believe also, like, it'd be nice for treasure maps to give you some experience as well. So if you want to be a treasure hunter, every single box you open up will give you a set of experience as well, depending on the rarity. And then you can also do, like, of course, like grinding mobs. You can do the optional quests. You can have story arcs. If you participate in story arcs, you get experience there, right? You can also give, I don't know, certain PvP events, not like killing a player. Like, I'm talking PvP events give experience. Like, there's other ways you can have things be other roads that you can go down. That's what sandboxes, in my opinion, are all about. Theme parks, like I said, always force you down roads. I don't want any enforcement down any particular road. And right now, there is sort of an enforcement with grinding mobs, because that is, quote unquote, the most efficient way to do it. But I think, again, you can have that be the most efficient. I kind of don't care. But there should be other ways, is what I'm saying. There should be other ways. Let me see, 25 adventure level. I think they plan on capping at 100 eventually. I think I could be wrong, but I know the 50 is planned. Yeah, right now the end game in the actual paper design is level 50. So right now we're at level 25, and then at level 25 we get secondary augments, and then from 25 we'll grind all the way to 50. So that's kind of the way it is right now on paper. Let me see, say PvP events when you rob a caravan. Yeah, and imagine that, right? Like imagine, I don't know if I don't want caravans to actually give experience because that could be so exploitative. I want stuff that, you know, kind of gets predicated from the game. Like if it's like a particular PvP story arc, if it's a particular PvP like lawless area that comes up, like stuff like that, right? And there has to be certain objectives that are tied to it that will earn you, you know, that bonus experience, right? Or even like I said, just even having like boons, right? Like buffs and stuff like that. Like, yeah, random events, exactly. Like all of that is needed. If you are the kind of Guild Wars 2 person where you like to do the randomness of the world stuff happening, and that's how you like to level, right? You like to constantly be traveling around, not be set in any particular path. That should also be an option for you. And that's where the world event system comes into play. Right now, we have such a small sliver of the world events. Like, you know, technically a world event is something like the very first one you basically see is the Grims, right? Grims everywhere. That's a world event. It's a very small one, but it's a world event. The Caravan Down, that's an example of a world event. And there needs to be a shit ton more of them. And there needs to be a lot more variety in every single starting zone. And you could have a more sparse, technically, at least for right now, in the June Dark and in the desert and in the other like end game zones technically. But that's, you know, again, another way that people can potentially level, you know what I mean? If they want to go down that route. Z, do you think this is why online games are changing from sandbox / MMO to open world RPG? I think the reason why that's changing is because it's easier for these multi-billion-dollar companies to pump them out faster than it is to truly make an MMORPG, because to make an actual MMORPG takes a shit ton of time and resources. And just like any company, they want to cut corners and they want to give you a semi product instead of a real product and charge you just as much for it. So that's just my opinion. Let me see. I heard rumors that corruption zone mobs drop quality radiant drops and people were selling them for a fortune. Oh yeah, dude. Like, I mean, and right now we still haven't really got drops because the actual Harbinger stuff is not working correctly, right? There's a lot of bugs with that system. I think a lot of the Harbinger events you get into, if you participate in anything, if you go in them, there's always a random chance. I still think that's the case. You get a random chance to go combatant, which you can just die in the marketplace, which I've seen many people do. So many people just don't even do it until we know for sure that it's fixed. Let me see. If you make a bow that costs more than a few pieces of wood, then your crafting costs are a wee retarded. I mean, where's my immersion? Well, I think it's, again, like, we all know that it doesn't take 500 logs to make a bow, but we also live in a very magical land, right? So our suspension of disbelief has to be a little bit more suspended because there are things that are literally like, you know, magical, you know, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's just pixies and fairy dust. Like, I don't know. Let me see. The reason why they open the world RPG is because everyone nowadays works with UE5 and it has very shit performance, if not instance. Well, that's also true too. The UE5 technology, when it comes to massive games, and this is why a lot of massive games don't use Unreal Engine 5, because Unreal Engine 5 just doesn't do massive games well yet. That is something that I believe Ashes of Creation and potentially Chrono Odyssey can be paving the way for in the future. But a lot of the pioneers of anything, you know, it wasn't always the best, right? I mean, pioneers always paved the way for a future. And if we want Unreal Engine to be good at these massively multiplayer kind of games, then someone has to do it. Someone has to put in the work in the engine to end up getting the results we want as gamers. And, you know, that's just the reality of it, you know? Let me see. This game needs more fog of war. You should be able to explore the world to discover the spots and stuff. And you should know if you're crafting a recipe level 1. I don't mind fog of war. I don't. I think it's fine that they have it completely open right now. But I've heard in the past where people want the fog of war to be like, oh, if something changes, then the fog of war has to come back and stuff like that. I'm like, look, I'm just a fan of like, hey, you discover it once, you're good. Right. I don't think you need to keep on rediscovering an area over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? I just think that, you know, I'm totally fine with the fog of war. And I think if you went out to yourself and you discovered everything yourself, then hey, you should be rewarded for that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in that. Maybe a lot of people do like that. I wouldn't personally like it, but it wouldn't be a quitting moment for me either if that's what they ended up doing. But see, they nerfed gathering buff / boons. So it does make sense to nerf the crafting quality at least limit to 1 tier higher, but not 2, blues to yellow and so forth. Yeah, again, I don't mind that, but it's been working this way now since the start of early access. And it's not fun to just pull up the ladder. I think that's, again, we all understand this is alpha. We can also get a wipe in 2 months. It doesn't matter, but it matters right now. That's the main issue. And people, you know, are not going to be happy about this particular change when it's kind of a nothing change anyway. Like, you don't need to do this right now. If that's something that you want to do for a wipe, go right ahead, do that for a wipe. But there's no reason to piss off like your entire crafting base by doing this now, when you're also not going to revert or make any changes to the people who've done this previously. And probably nor should you. You didn't need to make a change like this. Like, it's very simple. Let me see. I agree about the time sink to make an MMO. I think that is the issue with the community talking about how long the game has been in development. MMORPGs is 3 to 6 years, while a true sandbox MMO is 7+ years on average. Well, yeah, I think it's one of those things that a lot of the AAA, especially in Western, have figured out it takes a shit ton of resources day one to make an MMORPG the way gamers want them to be made. They can probably make like, again, look at New World, right? Like, Amazon probably understood, like, hey, I think, again, Amazon's biggest problem was, I think, forcing Lumberyard. That to me was probably the biggest downfall of their thing. I think they would have been more comfortable like even creating or not creating, but going with like a Unity or Unreal Engine 5 at that point. But the fact that they were forced into Lumberyard when Lumberyard was utter garbage, I think it was the real true downfall. I mean, hell, they didn't have swimming for like years, bro. Like, I mean, there were so many problems because of Lumberyard. Well, that's true. Implementation, a limitation right now. This slate does not make any sense. Although I am focused on the rule set for the release, not for an alpha test. Exactly. Again, like it's a problem, right? If Intrepid's like, man, people are crafting rares into epics and, you know, heroics into legendaries. This is a problem. Who cares? Who cares? It's an alpha. It'll be wiped. Like, it's okay. If you're keeping that, like, you know, in your mind to say that you as the dev feel like it's a problem, cool. I get that. Like, if that's something you don't want in the design, I totally understand. And that is a decision you can make when you guys wipe again. That's very, very, very simple. And if you guys want to have the quality only be a 1-up instead of a 2-up, cool. But people have already been doing this now. Gear's already been done. People have already made gear. So by implementing a change like this and not doing anything about the people that have already done it, like, that's going to create a lot of waves, which is why it blew the hell up in the Ashes Discord. Let me see. Shouldn't they use alpha to tune it correctly? Yes, they should. This is what I'm saying. Like, see how far this goes. Get more data on this particular percentage, right? Let it go. And as soon as you wipe again, we'll restart with a brand new percentage that you guys think would be better, with more iteration and feedback from us. And we'll be able to, you know, see if you guys are right on the money, or maybe we need more tuning. Like, that's what it's all about. Let me see. A big factor is how experienced your dev team is at the start. Someone with 7 to 10 or 15 years experience, having done this type of work, will do so much more efficient, foresee problems, less errors going back to fix, etc. Well, yeah, no, for sure. I think a lot of the devs, though, kind of pay, at least some that I talk to, pay a little too much attention to the community, which isn't a bad thing. But I don't speak to every single developer at Intrepid, right? And I just feel like this decision was very much like tone deaf to what the community has been saying for the past week. You see, I missed the pre-Thoughtbot days when you got stuck in a game and couldn't figure out, people just moved on. Now you get stuck, they search the web and no answer. There must be a bug, or post on Reddit to see how shitty this game is. Well, again, we're never going to get around that. We live in a very informational society now, with like Google, with websites being curated and everybody wanting information. You know, people are making guides on YouTube. Like back in 2004, there was no YouTube. YouTube got invented in 2005. So there was a lot of Vanilla Gorilla. Thank you so much for the follow, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Hope you're enjoying the stream. There's a lot of what we used, or a lot of what we did, you know, the forums, Thoughtbot, you know what I mean? That's all gone. Like what we have now is what we have. Like people are going to want to find the information minute one. If they are ever confused on anything, they will research it immediately. They have their second monitor up. They're putting something in. Like, it's just how people are. We see hot take on economy. I think they should add item destruction, because currently non-top tier item progressively overflew market. This makes crafting non-top tier non-profitable. I am not, I mean, I am a fan of item destruction. Like if you're talking about corruption, like, and when you kill a corrupted player, how an item would be destroyed rather than it just being on your body, I agree with that. But if you're talking item destruction in the sense of durability going to 0 and the item just being poofed gone, I don't know if the community is going to like that. I don't know. Like that's something I think would be interesting. In your opinion, which server is best right now on Ashes for joining in a good guild and actually doing things in game? Ooh, oh man, that's very subjective. I think if you ask anybody, they feel like every server's fucked. Resna's fucked, Letheria's fucked. I play on Shoal personally. There's so many really good guilds to join too. I don't know your personality type. I don't know how competitive you are. I don't know how chill you are. But there are a lot of good guilds everywhere. I mean, I belong to probably over 12 guild discords that I've been in forever. Yeah, like it just personalities. Like, I don't know. Like I said, Suspect is my guild that I'm in. I love my guild. I've been in this guild now for over a year, but I've known these people since I joined the Ashes community. So I would always say, you know, find a good guild first, and wherever that guild is, then pick that server. You know what I mean? Because that's what's ultimately going to matter down the road. The servers being fucked now is kind of irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like, if you'd have told me Verra had 80 bans, I know, like, even Verra, dude, like it's so wild. People are like actually botting on Verra. It's so crazy. And we see destroying an item because you're using the item does not make sense. But if you are corrupted, yes, destroy the item. Do not make them lootable. Yeah, no, I agree. I think honestly, like it maybe could depend on what type of corruption that you have. But I am more so down of like actually just getting rid of the item dropping from a corrupted person and having it just be deleted instead. I think that might end up being best. I know that may not feel like a good moment or whatever. But I think honestly, like it'd be one of those things where, just might be better health for the game, you know? So let me guess, you want another wipe? I actually don't. I don't. Like I've always advocated for wipes. I think, you know, if something very destructive happens on a server, I think they should. But I think right now I'm actually advocating more for them to figure it out. You know, I need them to figure it out. I need them to like not always having to resort to a wipe, because that's not always going to be an option. I think they need to develop their tools and refine their tools more and see how more surgical they could be with removing dupes, with removing corrupted items, or removing and adjusting things like literally live or potentially like in a downtime, instead of having to just like, oh shit, we have to wipe it now. Like they need to learn, you know what I mean? Like, and this is the best place to learn, right? During an alpha. So no, I don't want them to wipe right now. I think they could wipe potentially in a couple of months, but not right now. Let me see what would be the incentive to players attacking a corrupted player. Materials, just like anything else. I think again, most of the time when you kill like let's say a purple player, you get 25% of their materials. But I think imagine you getting 60%. Like, so it grows. Imagine the base on a corrupted player is like 40%. And then depending on what tier of corruption they are, if they're level tier corruption 1, corruption 2, corruption 3, and it basically just goes up by tens. So 40%, 50%, 60%, 70%, 80%. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think all of that would be really good. And I also feel like depending on how high the corruption is, instead of XP debt, they just have XP loss. So if they're corruption level 5 and they die, they just lose like 200, I don't know how much, like, let's make an example, like 200,000 experience, which maybe at a high level probably isn't nothing, but let's say at level 25, like you lose like 2.5 million experience, being corruption level 5, and you just de-level from level 25 to 24, like I think that would be something that, would be okay. I think XP debt from like the first couple of stages of corruption is fine, but then again, corruption is meant to be a deterrent. It's not meant to be like this gameplay loop for a person to endure. So if a person is clearly like killing non-combatants over and over and over again, like that is a griefing kind of play style, because you should be trying to engage in more of the consensual PvP instead of having to go corrupted. You see, the solution is ditching this dog shit corruption system and doing Arcage's crime system with improvements. Imagine if you have too much blight, you can no longer use towns and you must use a lawless node. I mean, that would be interesting. Again, I don't have a particular connection with Arcage or even with this corruption system. It's just what we have right now. If there are systems or improvements we can make to make it better, I'm all for that. Like, I don't care if it's inspiration from another game. I don't care if it's just a brand new invention that someone created. I just want a better system. And I think that's what everybody wants, right? Let me see, no point wiping, but they do need PTR backup so they can let players test things, then ignore their feedback and roll it out. No, exactly. Like, I think it wouldn't be a good thing to wipe. I know as many people try to advocate it for memes and shit, like they need to figure this out, and they are. Like, from the conversations I've had, they are literally doing what they can to remove all this duping and exploitive stuff, but it's going to take time, and it's only going to take time because their tools aren't as refined. So they're having to do stuff probably the long way instead of a quick, easy way, because they need to make the quick, easy way by learning from this problem. And that's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing. Let me see. Brother corrupted player is a player to be punished. To want to punish a player and risk yourself to do it, you must have a special interest and gain it to put yourself in risk. I mean, if you're not really posing much of a threat as a non-combatant trying to kill a corrupted player. I mean, if the corrupted player is high enough level, potentially they could be a threat. But I mean, honestly, when a person goes red, everybody should just gang up on them and kill them. I mean, that's really the point, right? I mean, unless they're surrounded by guild members and stuff like that. I don't really like your argument about materials only dropping. Weapons and gear should drop. XP loss is probably not a big issue for level 25s. It may not be an issue, but it's still something that I think should happen. And when it comes to gear or materials dropping, again, like, I know that's the intended thing, right? And if Steven wants to keep that, it's fine. I don't really have a horse in that particular ring, but I do think eventually there should be item loss too, like item destruction. And just like I said with XP debt, then transforming into XP loss, you need to feel the repercussions of corruption, and that's a way to do it. I don't know. It just, there's so many different things that would have to go into play there, and I think it just, the corruption system for a lot of people just doesn't work. I'm trying to find ways to make it work, but there's a lot of people who say that it just can't. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me see. I never go corrupt intentionally, but if someone corrupts on me to me, I respect that. The current punishment seems fair to me on that, even when I'm the victim. I think right now there's people that I've heard that say the current like level of punishment is appropriate for like first time corruption. I personally think it's a little high. I do. I think it's a little high. And I think we need to look at the refinement of the corruption system. But again, if there's other games, like I never played Arcage, I never played Lineage 2. I never really played a lot of the old school like MMORPGs. So my mind really comes from World of Warcraft, which haha, not really much of WoW inspiration in this game, but still, you know what I mean? Like I'm willing to always hear like, you know, good systems and feedback. Let me see. I would really prefer Arcage's system over what we have now. Could tie into these pseudo factions based on nodes, where you can't attack citizens of your node or its vassals. And I think honestly, like that's going to be a Steven decision, because they've had this corruption system since I've been here and even before. So, and sometimes like killing off a baby, right? Like, or your baby, like your idea of like, oh man, this system's going to work so good, is never a good feeling. But it's better to try alternatives now than waiting later when it's probably too late. Does that make sense? Because I still feel like we have years until launch. And I've always been a fan of A and B testing. If you guys need to do an A and B testing with corruption and with some other completely different system, do that. Like seriously, like it's worth trying at least. If it doesn't work, or if it's just as fucked up as corruption, then we can say it didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's always worth trying. Let me see. Corrupted gear could have a timer or a maximum times worn by a corrupted player before affecting them with the plague of corruption. Well, and here's my thing. And I've heard people say this, that if a person gets corrupted, that their gear is now corrupted. And if a player picks up that gear, they become corrupted. And I'm like, well, how does that work? Like if I killed that person that I'm non-combatant and I go corrupted, like how is that? Like unless you have that person that killed them is the only person that can pick up that gear and no one else can, because they are like the purifier or something like that, right? So because they were the ones who got the killing blow, those people are the only ones that are able to pick up that gear and it not be corrupted. If a friend picks up the gear, they go corrupted. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really particularly like that either, but I've heard people talk about stuff like that. Let me see. The criminal system for Arcade was perfect. You had to do a quest line to remove it, which put the radar on for everyone to punish you or having to lock you in prison for hours. Honestly, the more I keep hearing about the whole Arcade prison system, I fucking love it. Why is that not a thing in Ashes? Like, and especially from Steven coming from Arcade, that would be like dude, you can have jails and military nodes. You know what I'm saying? Like you can literally create a building to have imagine if you could literally go to a military node and go by the jail, like as a building and have like, you see people in it that like went corrupted. You know what I mean? Like that's just so funny to me. Like, I think that would be actually pretty fun. It just creates more, like that social sandbox dynamic. You know what I'm saying? Like people want the gallows. Like I think for me as a non-Arcade player, I hear this system and I think that sounds fucking fun. Bring the jury in, and Arcade was damn fun. And you can even have the scientific node have like an actual council, or like there's so many ways in Ashes how this system could easily be plopped into, like easily. Let me see. Why aren't more people vocal about the absence of the actual Harbinger event? They show corruption zones in the early access trailer and saying corruption spreads. This is not true and deceptive. Let me see. We're supposed to get the real event this month, but this is not happening. I think it was a mistake to release the event without more Q&A. I really do. And we all knew it. Like when we weren't getting the Harbinger event and what was it, November 17th or whatever. And then, it was going to get pushed to, December 11th. And then and I'm talking very limited testing they had with corruption zones. I knew there was going to be something going on with that system. Like I saw the writing on the wall. I was like, this should not be happening. Why are we doing this? But it's not my decision. You know what I mean? It's like, it just wasn't a good decision to make. And I think also just making the Harbingers be a marquee thing for like so many new players have literally asked me, like, where are these Harbingers? Like, where do I go and fight these people? And it's just so like, oh my God, do I have to tell them? Do I have to like let them down? Like, it's just, it isn't good. In Dusty Y's interview with Steven, Steven does claim to be a PvP player first. I don't think better tuning and not expected. Well, I think if Steven is a PvP based player, then he has to see all of these issues that are going on with corruption, that are going on with things. But it seemed to me that Steven also doesn't see certain things as problems. He sees them as them working as intended. And I think that's also us as the community constantly being loud about the things that we don't like. Because Steven was also an advocate of not having a wall of shame, not outing people for doing duping or exploiting or cheating. And look how that changed, because we didn't shut up. So say what you want about the guy, but he does listen. And I think with enough good feedback and good arguments as to why this system cannot work and this system could work so much better, and that not stopping, that's what we're here for, right? To make actual change. Because Arcage's prison system was a kangaroo court. It did not punish guilty people nor exonerate innocent people. It simply favored popular people. It was neat, but not good. I could see, and again, what can we do to improve that, right? Like, what can we do to make that system better, right? So it's not saying we have to have a direct ripoff and do it one for one, but what were the things that worked about that system? What were the things that didn't work? And the things that didn't work, are they just as much of a laundry list of things that don't work comparatively to the corruption system? Because if one list is way the fuck shorter than the other, then why can't we try the other one? You know what I'm saying? Because instead of having 50 problems to fix with the corruption system, we only have 7 to fix with this other system. I'd rather try to tackle the one with 7 than the one with 50. You know, that's just my thinking personally. It was fun though, and only could be really gamed because you had so many alts in the game, which isn't the case in AOC. A little tweaking, it would work. That's what I mean, right? Like, and it's worth trying. It's literally worth trying. I don't understand like how we can't try more A and B testing with system A and system B. Like, you know, like, I just feel like all we've been doing so far is just testing again, which has been on paper for many, many years, which totally valid, but we don't have alternatives either. Like, you mean there was nothing, like, you guys just immediately thought that all these systems are going to work as intended and is going to go off without a hitch. Like, that just seems like a little bit of poor planning to me in that sense. Let me see, I'll tell you, it's not a thing in Ashes because they spend millions of dollars to invest in those new ideas that are more bad than copy pasting Arcages. Well, and if it's pride, you know what I mean? Like, again, you know, Steven, he's the one in charge, and maybe he was prideful about certain decisions, but he had his mind eventually changed. And I think if we're loud about it, what's going to cost him more money? Him changing the system or the game utterly failing at launch because certain systems just don't vibe and don't work with the player base that it's actually made for? I feel like he'll lose way more then than right now, is my opinion. Let me see, all the PvP systems have had their rewards removed or have been obsolete. Yeah, which is, I mean, Zybex talk about this in his videos like a lot, and it's very concerning. And I hope that they do add more PvP loops with actual real incentives. Let me see, I meant RuneScape PvP flags was really solid. You could you kill, you get crossbones, you have bones, you drop more gear. It's pretty similar to corruption. I just don't know how that'll work. I mean, because other people can then pick up the same bones, right? So it's you or other players around you, which means it's still kind of the same problem you're going to have in Ashes with people like friends just picking up your friend's loot and giving it back to them when they're not corrupted anymore. You can see Kangaroo Court still exists in real life. That's what makes it fun. It seems to work really well in the Arcade private servers. Well, that's what I mean, right? Like, and I think, you know, people having, you know, biased opinions in game, you know, does make stuff interesting. And I think in Ashes, if you have like a compelling argument or whatever of like what you do, like, I mean, I think it's what makes the game more of a game, right? Is, again, this is Game of Thrones. Look at Tyrion. Not all of his, you know, court cases were actually heard by like sympathetic juries either. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes shit doesn't fucking work out. You know, that's what this game is all about. I feel like Ash's development might be negatively affecting by Steven's nostalgia for certain experience, but hey, without him, this game wouldn't have a chance to exist at all. It's very true. It's very, very true. I think when it comes to how Steven feels about certain systems, again, it's hard to kill off your babies, right? Like, you have a certain idea and you thought, man, the system's going to work really, really well. I can't wait to see it like happen, live or, whatever. Like, it's just one of those things that it's hard to feel like, fuck, man, like I thought this was really going to work, or I thought this was going to be fun, but it's better to pivot now than it is to hold on to a system just because you thought about it. There's many video ideas that I thought of that were like, I thought were going to be really, really amazing. And, even talking to my other content creator friends and be like, Vlad, that's actually not a really good video idea. I think that video wouldn't do good. And sometimes I'm terco, like I'm Spanish for just stubborn, but I'm stubborn and I just don't, and I do it. And then the video didn't do well. And I'm like, well, shit, I guess they were right. You know what I mean? And sometimes, yeah, it's same shit. Let me see, out of curiosity, if when the game launches, are you going to play hard, or are you pretty much taking the same pace as you kind of chill, etc.? So when the game launches, I'm going to take probably a week or two off. I told my wife that I'm going to be in this room living for about a week or two and to not disturb me. I'm going to like DoorDash, or I'm going to have food brought in here. Again, now is not the time to go hard, but I do plan on going hard. And then after about that week or two, until I have like a comfortable cadence, then I'm going to basically play the way I'm playing now. I can't, like, as a gamer dad, I think that's what a lot of gamer dads do. If they're really excited about a game, they'll take like a week or maybe 2 weeks off of work, go as hard as they can, and be with their buddies, have a good time leveling with your guild, camaraderie, fun, it's all exciting, it's new, it's like, getting in there, doing all the things you want to do. And then after that, the reality is you have to go back to work and you're back in the same old grind. You know what I mean? So, for me, that's kind of how I plan on doing it. Like so the cadence that you kind of see me doing when I'm playing for 2 hours on stream, that's probably the reality of what my streams are going to be like after I go hard. So I can only go hard for a certain segment, and then I go soft for the remainder of time. Oh my God, that was such a bad analogy. Anyway, let me see. If you go corrupt, you can't enter town and the bounty system activates. If you enter town, guard gives you option, jail, or pay fine with deleveling. Ooh. And like I said, with the military nodes and other systems, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do feel like, I do agree with Steven that we do need to see some of the more fleshing out of the systems that aren't even online yet. But I don't even know if those things can alleviate the current issues and problems with corruption, but I'm so willing to be fucking wrong. Like I am, like I'm willing to be fucking wrong. We'll just have to see what happens. Let me see. PvP system is now based on abuse on the lobby, in my opinion. It simply needs to change into the direction of motivating players into engagement. Therefore, reward PvPs. Therefore, reward PvP. There is no other way around. Yeah, I mean, again, like I think that's what everybody wants, right? I think everybody wants it to feel fair, and I think right now, the fact that people are having to do like this exploitive behavior in targeting and using mounts and using all this other stuff just shows the kind of kinks in the armor, so to speak. So that's basically like, what I think everybody wants for sure. So you used to be unsure about your takes. Some are a bit off. As you're not maxing out, but I really respect your consistency. Yeah, man, I appreciate that. Like I said, like I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Like I said, and I've said my takes are bad. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't expect people to always agree with me. What I hopefully expect is to have a conversation about my takes. And I'm always willing to be wrong, and I'm always willing to concede to someone who has a better argument than me. I'm not that kind of streamer is an authoritarian and always just my chat is stupid, I am right. That's not the kind of stream you're watching right now. I like having discussions. I like having insightful discussions with people. And that's why I love to stream, because I see a lot of discussions happening in my chat all the time. I think we have really awesome discussions about Ashes of Creation. Let me see. Has PvP increased as the wipe progresses per prior phase? Like I'm not going to get my shit kicked in at this point. Am I going to get my shit? Yeah, you are pretty much going to get your shit kicked in right now. Right now, TTK is still problematic. People are severely geared right now. There's still like levels of duplicated gear that hasn't gotten deleted yet. So yeah, there's issues with PvP currently. Let me see. Let me see. I want PvP Steven. Let him know who's the king of the hill when it comes to PvP. Oh my god. And it's funny when Steven was in game, I remember when he had the pole arm and he was like killing people with the pole arm or the spear, so to speak. Sorry, not the pole arm, but the spear. So it was very interesting. Let me see. Did you discuss the BH system yet? The bounty hunter system. So I've not really discussed the bounty hunter system, but you know, the bounty hunter system is technically supposed to be linked to military nodes, and we don't even have military nodes. We don't have any specific type of node right now. All settlements are identical. I mean, they're technically scientific because you can vote in all of them for mayoral stuff, but there's no scientific specific buildings, nor is there any kind of scientific specific buffs. So right now, the whole 4 types of settlements are totally offline right now. So it's just a bunch of copy pasta settlement everywhere. Let me see. I don't like the idea that we do not test intended corruption system, but overtuned nightmare, which is leading to corruption baiting and soon to be deleted low level corrupted alts. Exactly. And I still think they need to provide or to have certain measures. And I've told the devs, I said, I think deleting characters should have a cooldown. So like you can delete a character, like because I feel like that's very abnormal behavior for an MMO player to be deleting a character over and over again. And especially when it's a non-level 1. Like let's say you create a level 1 and you had a certain name and you're like, I don't like that name, I'm gonna delete it. I think if you're literally constantly deleting like a level 6 or a level 9 or level 8, like over and over and over because you're using them as the corruption baiter, I don't think you should do that. And I think the game should have like some kind of diminishing return on like constantly deleting tunes. So that way you're basically like, you can't create a tune kind of thing. So that's kind of the thing. Oh, server's back up. Awesome. Let me see. I think you should play Albion just to see how a true PvP game can work. It's free to play. Also, Albion, every item is crafted by a player. Well, I appreciate that. If I ever do play Albion, I'll probably play it on my own time, but I don't want to stream or to do anything non-Ashes related because that's just kind of my thing. Like, I don't want to do other content. I don't want to play WoW or, you know, I remember I did play like Lost Ark, or not Lost Ark, I'm sorry. Last Epoch, and I did play Star Wars Galaxies, but I think that kind of taught me like I just need to stay in my Ashes lane, and I'll just do that stuff on my own time. Let me see. Also, Vladis, did you hear anything about the Underrealm and how they're going to implement it? I have not heard anything recently about the Underrealm, but I have heard that there is assets that have been remastered in a sense, because a lot of these stuff that was done in the Underrealm was all from Unreal Engine 4. And so the last thing I heard was that a lot of the assets were actually redone to fit the current Ashes look right now. And that's it. That's all I heard. So, I mean, if that's a nothing burger, I'm sorry, but that's just all I heard. There is no fair PvP unless you're PvP at like level 10 with level 10s right now in game because of tainted gear being everywhere. You can't compete since gear dependence is unprecedented. Well, yeah, and that goes into how, again, just unbalanced all the number tuning is, right? Like there's a huge, like going and fighting a Radiant uncommon, like if you have a person that's all decked out in Radiant uncommons comparatively to Radiant or heroics, huge leap, very big leap. And again, all these things need to be tuned, but I think those things should be probably tuned in the next wipe. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is now. It sucks. But again, like this is all the data they need to get to make sure like how these particular thresholds are from rarity to rarity to rarity, right? And we need to have a good middle ground, because also I think when a person does put in the effort to get on all heroics, they should feel powerful comparatively to an uncommon, but how much more, right, is always the question. Like how much more? And I think the other thing that really puts it into another perspective is because of this duplicated exploit that happened, like we know the majority of those people in heroic, epic, or legendaries didn't do that realistically. So people are upset that the fact that they have that gear due to cheating and not due to the hard-earned work of putting in to make it. You know what I'm saying? And then you have the whole like settlement buffs, right, being ridiculous, which is allowing people to like 2-tier rarity, which it is what it is at this point, right? There's a lot of stuff that's like broken with TTK, with PvP, with the gear setting, with medium gear, and how ridiculous hunting is. Like there's so many issues. There's a plethora of freaking problems with Ashes of Creation right now. Like it's a lot of work they have to do, for sure. Let me see. And long term into 35 to 50, those scaling become a bigger problem, especially against lower level players. But you're right. Next wipe. Yeah, exactly. Like and this is why we have to figure out each bracket with a fine tooth comb, right? Because it needs to feel good at every threshold, from 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on and so forth. I put in 500 hours into crafting my epic sunbow. Everyone calls me a duper now. I'm sick of it. And I'm sorry, brother. Like, if you did legitimately craft that, like, I know there are people who do have like a really good weapon and they legitimately did that themselves. But yeah, like it is what it is right now, because a lot of people just, sometimes people don't have the time. They see a lot of people cheating and they just want, they want people to pay the price, right? And so I'm sorry that's happening to you, brother. Let me see. Yes, I agree. I play Albion on your own time just to see mechanics. Albion is not the game you can play for the next 10 years, though. It is pay to win. That's why we need Ashes. Oh, yeah. I usually I don't know. Like, I like playing Ashes, but I'm not saying that I don't like playing other games for research, but I feel like the research for the game I'm playing, like I kind of already know how in my own lane. I don't like to try to talk about PvP. Why? Because I don't really PvP. I don't like talking about things that I don't even have the experience in, and so many people like to talk shit and say like, Vlad, you anything you say doesn't even mean anything to me because you haven't hit level 25. So apparently, like, as a content creator, if I don't hit level 25, everything I'm saying is basically like nonsense. But I mean, mostly like I try to stay in my lane with Ashes, and that's why I like to talk about the PvP. I like to talk about the interconnection of systems, because that's something I always wanted in World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft for the longest fucking time was so like single system oriented and just very fragmented. And I really do see the vision with the interconnectivity of Ashes of Creation and wanting that to work and wanting that to be like the symphony of systems and players, that things that you can just do, like, and it's just, and how that could all come together would just be amazing, let me see. I don't think anyone calls players with Sunfire Bow as a main weapon dupers. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I know there's people that do talk shit or whatever, but I have seen people with that bow. I don't say, like, being personally, like, I don't really, if you have something made, not made or whatever, like, I think once they do the second ban next week, that's going to be very telling. And if you see people in game next week and they have like a high craft item, maybe that was due to the quality stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and again, if you bought your food and if you went to a certain settlement to get those buffs, like, I think that's legitimate gameplay right now. And to me, that's not exploitative. You're taking advantage of the buffs that were provided from the town, and you're using food, as a crafter, and you're having like your crafter shirt, your pants, or your skivvies and your belt. Like, that's all like intended gameplay, let me see. Wipe the servers. Do they even work on 25 to 50 content? No, because we're still trying to, I mean, I'm pretty sure they are. But I think right now we're still so focused on levels 1 through 25. There's still so much we have to deal with within these brackets that we've been in for a year, and to go and just, okay, like, well, yeah, these issues exist, but now we got to start focusing on 25 to 50 content. Like, then we would have a whole game of feeling like shit. And it's not saying that I want a New World experience, because I remember a lot of people that played New World said, oh man, levels 1 through 30 felt really good, but after level 30, the game sucked, and I don't want Ashes to transform into that either. Right. But we need to spend time, like, within this 1 through 25 bracket. And then we also need to spend time within the 25 to 50 bracket. And I just hope we have the opportunity to, personally. It's kind of depressing to level leather crafting tanning to journeyman to find out you can't craft a single armor, end armor, because there are not implemented like the barrel cactus, or you need 400 ravens. Well, again, and this is why I haven't really seen anybody concentrate on leather, because that whole game loop is fucked. Hunting sucks. Hunting is so fucking placeholder. There's not enough of gatherables out in the world that people can camp or do effectively with the amount of materials required for processing and crafting. The entire medium gear grind is, in my opinion, completely unnecessary to do right now. We don't even have that in completion right now. There's still even issues with light armor right now. That's why a lot of people are in heavy, because I think that's where a lot has been more fleshed out in the heavy armor set than in especially the medium, but also light needs a lot of love too. According to GGG, RMT gold prices are pretty much half the price they were last week. Any thoughts on why they'd be so cheap now? Shouldn't they be higher if gold farmers are getting banned and that gold's getting deleted? No. A lot of times, like especially if gold farmers are getting deleted and the game's making a push, the cheaper prices will entice players to go and buy gold, because they want players, like if they were to start like raking up the prices, that's also going to make them not want to do anything. Like, and right now there's already fear too. I truly think fear has actually been instilled in people, at least more probably in the casuals, which is good. You need a fucking fear. But when it comes to the actual RMTers and the professionals and everything like that, they're just making it cheaper to entice. That's it. They want you to go and buy that gold, because if they're not going to sell it to you at $6 for gold, then maybe they'll sell it to you for $1.50 per gold. And again, digital inventory sitting there isn't making any money either. So the cheaper they can do it, the more that people might buy. The worst is they promised a new hunting system for almost a year now, and it's almost ready since early 2025. Well, and again, look at the Harbinger system. That's kind of what we have now, right? Hunting is the Harbinger system currently. It's just not worth doing. Now, there are people who do it, but it's just not worth doing. I would rather them spend their time taking their time with this brand new hunting thing to actually give us a legitimately good foundational hunting system. Because look at every other gatherable system. Every other gatherable system works great. Like, I don't see people giving feedback on mining or lumberjacking or the loop on fishing or, you know, anything like that. Well, maybe do fishing, because I don't want AFK fishing, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like, so they need to have an actual really good foundational system. And that just takes time, because there's no reason to rush it out to appease their newness when that new system could be just as broken as the placeholder system. So I don't want them to rush. It needs to come out when it's ready to come out. Let me see. Gold price went down because fear caused demand to go down. Supply is infinite, as evident by the ton of clips posted today. Yeah, exactly. Like, they want to move their gold. They're afraid that, oh shit, we have a ton of fucking gold just sitting here now. People aren't buying. We need to fucking lower our prices to, you know, to entice them to come and buy. And again, usually a lot of times when people are buying like crazy is when they up their prices, because it's like, hey, people are fucking buying their asses off right now. Might as well hike up the price and, you know, get some more money, you know, but that usually isn't the case when, you know, the price is severely low. Wood cutting is A++. Really enjoy cutting wood with the HUD off. Adds another layer of my gambling addiction. When you turn the HUD back on, it's like winning a jackpot. You never knew what you got. Yeah, I would honestly, one thing that I want for gathering is a sound effect. A small, very small sound effect. Like, I think it'd be really nice. And this is something that I think could be optional for you. If you aren't a fan of sound effects, then you can just turn it off. But I would love like a PoE, like when you see a fucking really like a legendary in Ashes and you hear that sound, it's like that satisfying, like, oh, you know, that sound. I would love that. Like, that's my only like little tidbit feedback on gathering, because I'm just a huge sound effect guy, and I would love that particular. Yes, it is the divine drop sound, dude. That's what I mean. Like, that is something I would really, really, really love. Let me see. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. FIFO TV, thank you so much for the follow. Your savior. Thank you so much for the follow. And Sadie 1337, thank you so much for the follow. I hope you guys are enjoying the stream so far. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of sounds, and I just hearing that sound, just that alone can get me to want to keep chopping wood or keep wanting me to mine rocks or whatever, right? Because I want to hear that sound again. And so like I think that would be my only feedback on gathering, is just having a really crunchy, nice sound for like a legendary or an epic, you know. Not saying it has to be with every rarity, but it would be nice. I would love it for every rarity. But it's whatever, you know what I mean? Let me see, every gatherer role needs to be as hype as Vampire Survivors. Let me see, in 500 hours of cutting wood, I only ever proc 3 legendary wood, 10 willow and 5 ash. Nice. In my entire time of mining rocks, I've gotten 5 limestone legendaries, which is 1 proc, and 2 tin. So only 2 procs I've gotten this entire early access. I feel like legendary procs actually, like, it really gets me excited now. Like, I love it. Even epics, to be honest with you. I think the rarity feels really, 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 really good. Rocco, dude, thank you so much for the follow, brother. Thank you. Hope you're enjoying the stream too, brother. Let me see, gathering sound effects, especially if it's different from you had a better proc, would be very nice. They tend to go on sound dev as well. No, for sure. And I don't know if New World had sound effects when gathering, but I mean, I like playing, like, you know, Last Epoch and, you know, Path of Exile. And I'm a huge fan of hearing, like, when it's a good drop, you know what I mean? And you hear that sound, it just like, oh shit, like it gives you that instant like perk moment, you know what I mean? And so like, that's, I don't know, I think it'd be really nice. Like, you don't have to do it for potentially like or common, uncommon, and rare, but it would be really cool if you added it for like heroic, epic, and legendary. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that, you know, that'd be really, really cool. I've gotten 5 slate and 75 level mining, or 75 levels of mining. That's crazy. I thought there was only 50 levels. How are you at level 75? That's insanity. Here, let me go in game. I haven't even booted it up. I have to freaking probably download it. So give me 1 second. I wouldn't go as far as calling them terrible, but the overpromising needs to stop. I'm sick of hearing how great everything is in monthly live stream while Chinese bots flying around. Yeah, and I think honestly, I don't think it's really the overpromising. My thing is that they've literally been radio silent since they came back. Like, we got the ban list, which is great, but that's probably the only Alpha 2 news we've gotten since the 5th, since they've came back. We haven't gotten any kind of like, hey, we're working on a major patch, which I know Margaret said that in general chat, but many people aren't going to go and look at every single message in general chat, right? But I think just the fact that they haven't posted things in the Alpha 2 news to kind of just like, hey, we're back. Like, hey, you know, we're doing this thing. We're prepping like a really big patch for you guys, and all of the brokenness or all of the things that, you know, have been plaguing you guys since we left on the 20th. You know, just something, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels so weird to me that they haven't done that, you know? Let me see, 2 tunes. Oh, okay. That's how you do it. You have multiple characters. That's crazy. It's a lot of game time. I thought I saw a little more slate spawn in the desert. Yeah. I mean, there's some rocks, especially in the tropics in the desert, that are pretty damn good. But what's going on with Ashes? I'm trying to download it on Steam right now, and it doesn't even have a like a download. It's almost like it's installing. It's so weird. You guys see this? Like, it says patching, but then it just doesn't even give me like my killer, like how fast I'm downloading it. Let me see, I'm playing right now and try restarting Steam. Okay. Well, let me download it first, and then I'll figure it out. I literally just opened Steam right now. So I don't know. Yeah, I know it says patching. It's just so weird because usually it always gives me like the speed and, you know, of like how fast I'm downloading or whatever. Let me see 1 second. Sorry, I was just getting a shit ton of messages right now, and I was wondering where it was coming from. It was just my couple of my friends. Okay. All the info shows on mine. Newsy, you're afraid they are running out of steam? No, not at all. Like, I don't think they're running out of steam. I just think it's weird that they haven't communicated well since they've been back. That's the only thing for me. Like, it's weird because usually they're pretty good on communicating. But it's I don't know, just feels very outside the box, you know. Hello AOC crowd, I have a question. I know someone who is on the ban list but can still play the game. The player is on the RMT list. I'm confused. Why is this guy can play? Probably because he's on a different account. And if you know that he's playing a character, I would report his in-game name and server and literally say exactly what you just said on my stream. If you know for sure 100% without a doubt. So that's what I would do, and provide your evidence of like showing the ban list, showing this character, all their stuff. Because from what Steven has confirmed in Discord is that they're not just banning accounts, they're wanting to ban the player. So if you have evidence that it is the same player, then give that evidence over to Intrepid and they will deal with it. Let me see. Also getting a lot of shenanigans with mayors building something for their guild, then removing straight after so no one else can craft. Yeah, I mean, are you on Resna? We know of a guild that did that on Resna. So here, let me go to properties and do a verification. I've been doing this now every time. Every time I get a major patch with Ashes, I just verify the files afterwards. Like I don't even try, because like every time that I haven't verified the files, something always happens to have an error or something like that pop up. And then after I've validated the files, I'm going to exit Steam and then go back in for extra measure. Could have also gotten an appeal and got it overturned. Yeah, exactly. Like if you don't know and you know that, hey, like if you have the evidence, provide that evidence. And if they say, hey, like we researched your thing, but we actually reverted their ban, they're okay, yada, yada. But if you have even more evidence to say like, hey, they are actually RMTers or whatever, then like I said, provide whatever evidence that you do have and go from there. Thanks for ruining the Discord arguments, Vladis. What? I didn't even do anything. What are you even talking about? You're the one who posted the WoW token image. I didn't do that shit. I wasn't even talking about World of Warcraft. How did I do anything? Let me see. Yeah, did they did that a lot on Resna, and then their crafter got banned for duping. Yep. And apparently the people have been saying that he is legitimate and that he is he was falsely banned. And then, well, again, we will see in the appeal and we will see next week. You know, that it is what it is. Landon, thank you so much for the follow, brother. Thank you. Very much appreciated. I hope you're enjoying the stream, brother. That's what I've been saying. Like, I'm not here to cast like blame. It's like a lot of these people are strangers to me. I don't know them. You know what I mean? All I know is the etiquette that some of these players have. And etiquette on the internet is not really something to go off of usually, because the dipshittery that happens on the internet is just the same dipshittery. I mean, if you've been on the internet as long as I have, you know that. So, and you don't have to believe them. That's the whole thing. Like, my whole thing is that I just don't let people like that bother me or bug me, because to me, it's just a waste of energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a waste of energy to like, you know, hold hate for strangers, you know? It's just like, you know, they're over there, I'm over here. It is what it is. So, I mean, that's why I wanted multiple servers in the first place. This is why, like, when people had the mega server going on and we were forced to play with all guilds, you know, that's not everybody's cup of tea, you know what I mean? But it's like, if you don't like certain guilds, then you can pick a server to not be in that server with that guild, you know? And I think that's the whole beauty of, you know, the server design, right? I like the mega server selfishly. Yeah, I know. I mean, there's people who liked it. I mean, again, it wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but it was some people's cup of tea for sure. I believe Vlad is not cheating. Tank on Thunder, and not so much. Oh yeah, because I was basically telling people that on the general chat, because people are like, why are so many Chinese people flying in the air? I was like, yeah, because the add-on was on sale for $9.99. And they're like, well, how do you know that, Vlad? Are you cheating? And I'm like, bro, the amount of information we as content creators get from the community, like, we know, like, we see shit. People are like, Vlad, have you seen this? Screenshot. Hey, Vlad, have you seen this website? You know, it's just, and it ain't just me. Zybeck gets hit up all the fucking time. Richie gets hit up all the fucking time. Like, and we have our own content creator Discord where we share shit among ourselves all the fucking time. So it's just crazy, you know? It's wild how much shit gets gets shared in our community. This is why I say to people that the truth will always come out, because people love to fucking be a high school little girl, like Zybex says, and fucking be all chatty Cathy about shit. You know, it's just how it is. So you say you got the cheats, sus. I mean, there's websites, they're not ashamed. They promote it very heavily. I mean, there's literally websites that promote the GM cheat specifically. And it's wild. And, you know, and again, I sent that all to Intrepid. They have it all because I want that shit to be fixed. I think it's crazy the fact that that's something that they can do right now. But hey, you know, it is what it is. Is that how Pockets got heroic items? Oh my God. Here we go. Shakan. Shao Kahn. Let me see. Whenever a guild is on the outs, they come running to me. Yep. Whenever shit's falling apart is when all the cockroaches scatter and all the information starts to pour out like crazy. Happens every time, every single time. All right, so it validated, everything's good. Let me shut down Steam. Go here. Second. Restart Steam. All right. Oh man, what a day. What a day. All right, man, this is just wild. I hope I don't know when I'll be able to talk to Steven again, but I would love to talk to Steven again. I know every content creator would love to talk to Steven again, but I really want to like reach out to Margaret because I really don't want to have like a kind of Q&A with him. I want to have like an actual like 1v1 like Joe Rogan style pot, like the same format I usually do on my 1v1s where I have an actual conversation. I want to have one with Steven. And there's certain topics I want to bring up, but I don't want it in like a, I mean, I guess like always discussions are kind of question answer, but I don't want it to feel like I'm reading off a list of specific questions. I just want to go into specific topics and kind of just back and forth the topics a little bit more. And, you know, I know Zybex here. I know we all appreciated the fact that whenever we did our roundtable, the fact that we were able to do that a little bit and kind of like push our question further or ask like a retort to Steven's response. Like, I like that. And I think having that kind of insight to, you know, instead of having to always be just, you know, question, statement, answer. Okay, here's my other question now. Here's my other statement, answer. And it's like, you know, I don't know, not having that back and forth, I think sometimes is a little critical. You know what I'm saying? And I think I would rather have fewer topics to discuss in like an hour or potentially an hour and a half format and really go deep on them. You know what I mean? And discuss like the philosophy of certain systems, like of why, you know, things have been the way they've been and kind of just go down the rabbit hole of it all. You know, I think getting that kind of insight would be really, really cool. I actually like Steven as a lead dev. In my opinion, he's not an empty shirt, seems genuine in his MMO knowledge. You may not agree with his philosophy. No, for sure. And, you know, it's not saying I have to like the guy. I mean, me personally, like I've always had very positive reactions and conversations with Steven privately, openly. You know, I have nothing against the dude. Like I support his vision wholeheartedly. And this is why I'm a content creator for the freaking game, because I want this game to succeed. And by the people that I've talked to, the other developers and stuff like that, I've heard many stories about Steven and many things about like his late nights over there and staying till 3 a.m. and, you know, basically bleeding along with his devs. You know, not a lot of bosses do that. You know what I mean? And again, you don't have to agree with every single decision that he does, but that dude works fucking hard. You know what I mean? Like he works hard and he truly tries. So I know people always give him shit, but I really do respect him as that, you know. Let me see. Zyback, thank you, because in that video you were pushing to get PvP less punishing, while a lot of the people want it to be harsher than it is now. Oh, I know. And again, it's funny, like as a PvEer myself, how I want it to be less punishing. You know what I'm saying? Like It's crazy. Yeah, the vertical power is insane. Like it's really, really, really wild. Um, but yeah, it's one of those things that I think is like it needs to change. Like, and it is going to change. All the numerical stuff is going to change. I just think that they've been missing the mark quite a lot when it comes to that. And I, again, as me as a non-alpha tester and someone who's never really tested an alpha, like I'm learning a lot too by being here. You know what I mean? So let me see. To be fair, I'm pretty happy with the devs. The Legion of Cheaters is what has me vexed. Me and you both, brother. Like I said, I've had very positive relationships and conversations with the developers that I've talked to. Again, I haven't talked to everybody, but I have talked to a lot of the devs, and I think they're really good dudes. I think they're very passionate people, and this is why I give my criticism the way I give it to them, because I give it pretty harshly, but I try to be respectfully about it. I don't ever try to sugarcoat it, at least to me. You know what I mean? And there's some people think that I'm like the most white knight for the game, and that all I do is basically kiss the ass of the devs. But I don't feel like I'm like that. And if you want to have that opinion about me, that's totally fine. But I do try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But when shit like this happens, like, come on, dude, come on. You see, bro, just copy paste Arcade PvP done. I mean, again, I would not mind to try it. As a person who did not play Arcade, and as someone who's been in this for over a year and has seen the plethora of issues that the current flagging system has, I wouldn't mind being, in a phase, right? For like 3 months, we're going to test this brand new version of flagging and corruption, or, whatever. Would not mind that at all. To me, that's the whole point of alpha testing. When they're going to add snow biome to the game, I don't even know if that's going to be in the docket, to be honest. Sojoma was a question I did not ask, and we were asking more so for the redwoods and the badlands, because that was something that was supposed to be on the docket last year to be done by the end of the year, which clearly did not end up getting done. So I don't know where they are with that, but I don't think their focus should right now be building land. They have other bigger fish to fry right now than creating more land that isn't going to really do much of anything. So I think they need to add more content. They need to work on more quests. They need to work on story arcs. They need to work on TTK. They need to work on the whole gear disparity with rarity. They need to work on a lot of economic issues that are happening right now. Hunting, like, to me, adding more landmass isn't going to do anything other than just keep certain issues still being issues months down the road. Let me see. Do we know if there's saltwater fishing buffs incoming? I don't. There's so many sports fishing issues right now. It's a little maddening, and I really, really, really want them to fix a lot of those issues. Sylvester, thank you so much for the sub, brother. Thank you. Let me see. Thoughts on crates existing at all? More world PvP without it. No printing gold for bots either. I never played a crate system before. I think the crate system is fine. I just don't want crates and I've said this before, I would rather have the gold portion be from caravans and have crates be more for building up settlements. And I think that would work way better. I would even mind a crate that would actually give you experience. Like, imagine running a crate, like 3 crates, and the whole portion or the reward is getting like 24,000 experience or something like that for one heroic crate. I think shit like that is good. But I think the whole and Horror Show, thank you so much for the sub, brother. Thank you. I think the whole being like not able to be flagged while you're carrying a crate and having that protection, I think is what's going to make this like a bot haven in a lot of ways. And I think getting rid of that, not getting rid of that, but basically just having maybe some kind of a flagging mechanism for running crates, or having some kind of PvP engagement while you're running a crate to happen, I think could be good for the game. But again, it's a lot of back and forth feedback. I just think the easier thing to do is just remove the gold component entirely from crates and have that just be buffed to caravans. That's just my thing. Let me see. Hey, dude, just tuned in for the first time while downloaded the patch for the patch. Happy I did. You're pleasant to listen to for sure. Horror Show, thank you so much, brother. Well, my name is Vladis. I basically do Ashes of Creation content exclusively. So I live stream Ashes of Creation every single day for just a couple of hours. And me and the community we have here just talk about the game and systems and create discussions around it. So it's good to have you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Crates just need to be limited to risky trade routes. The Ayla to Brimore route thing is no good. Maybe only make money with caravan mules can do the others. I don't mind. So the whole thing to Avian Zen to Brimore Farms, I am totally fine with that being a thing for the very, very, very start of the game. But once a settlement reaches and there's actual trade routes to be had, I think those things need to go offline. Does that make sense? Like, so you can do it within a limited time period, but once that time period expires because a node hit level 3, then that should be disabled in the Riverlands. Like, that to me should be something, because you need to be able to make something like some kind of gold in the early parts of the game. So I think that could be something that they can do, but I don't know. It just ultimately depends. Like, I don't care if it was removed entirely. Like, I don't really have the, like a horse in that race either, but that's kind of like my take on that. So we'll see. Heck yeah. Thank you. No problem, brother. W. Well, it's like I said, like I think the crate system, I don't mind it being there for like common and uncommon to make money, but I would rather just the caravan system be the thing, because the caravan system is a basically moving battleground, right? You don't go corrupted. There's no baiting when it comes, like we fixed a lot of the issues with caravan, which, you know, the whole UI, the system of, you know, all the issues we used to have with caravans that plagued people. Remember the whole healing thing and being in different groups and shit like that. And people were exploiting that to fucking hell and back. We don't have those issues anymore. So why aren't we incentivizing caravans more? Like, that to me is just so nutty. Level 10 cap on new Ayla to new Ayla and to Brimore. No, I don't think it should be a level cap, because that'll still keep bots from just, you know, going back and forth at level 5. I think it's more whenever the settlement, like the first settlement hits level 3, and then there's an actual like trade route to be had, then I think those things should just be disabled. Like, that to me would be the better route to go off of. I miss Glint being useful now. I just keep like 5 blues for tax and sell the rest. Yeah. Well, I still keep a shit ton of Glint anyway, because I just like to house it personally. I don't know for what reason, but I do. I like to house it. You see, hi, sorry to ask, but I'm new and I don't really know. Is a wipe bound to happen, or we have to start from 0? Well, Marcos, dude, welcome. There is no planned wipe right now, and I don't think there should be a wipe. And again, if you're brand new, you probably see a lot of people in general chat like hyping a wipe. But no, it's only because there's just issues, and that's just like a meme within the community. But if there's any kind of a wipe to be announced, I don't think a wipe would happen anytime soon. I think at the earliest would be in March, potentially even April, if we were to wipe. But no, there's no imminent wipe happening right now or even soon. Oh, what happened with the patch you mentioned in the title? Another exploit or something just came in. So there was a patch that came out today. So if you saw my thumbnail, and basically what that patch did is it nerfed, what the fuck did it do? Artisan stat adjustments, quality stat value increase received from artisanship consumables and service building quality buffs have been reduced from 30 to 10%. That's what they did. And it was a universal L across the board. And it was so universal L that the Alpha 2 General exploded, and basically it went nowhere. Like, I wouldn't say went nowhere, but the devs basically had to revert it. And that's what happened. So there was a patch that came out that ended up just being reverted. So nothing happened today. Like, in a sense, there was a major patch that happened that got reverted. So that's kind of the TLDR. Let me see. My idea for towns is to have a protection circle that protects crates going PvP. This can grow / shrink or overlap with others due to many factors, forcing players to build a trade route. Oh, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. But I, and that's what, and you're talking, is that still a philosophy of keeping it with gold? Like with crates still being able to have a gold thing? You see they changed the quality rating from crafting and they reverted it. Yeah. Let me see. Thanks so much. No problem, Marco. Let me see. So do you think the WS and AS 3 to 6K quality boon buff items should be kept in game or deleted? They should just be kept in game. Like I said, all that shit that happened, it's already fucked. And right now, like by just removing the ladder or upping the ladder isn't going to make that situation better. And so I just don't think they need to mess with it right now. It just sort of an is what it is situation. Let me see the 3 hour patch, then 2 hour where the devs quietly telling everybody to go touch grass. Probably. Let me see. To be honest, if it's 100% the devs' fault, I wouldn't vote to delete the gear unless they compensated mats and cost. What are you talking about, Bloody? Sorry, I was like, I feel like we've been changing the subject so many times. Like, I just want to make sure that I'm accurately. Oh my God, no! I would have wanted this braidwood. Damn it. Well, it is what it is. See, if I was paying more attention to the game, maybe I could have been there first. Now I'm like all looking around because I'm just like, oh, I don't come across braidwood too often. And just, oh my God, is that a braidwood? No, of course not. Why would it be? It's just ash. It's so hard to freaking tell sometimes when it's like winter like this. Ugh. I hate it. The buff was dev's fault, not an exploit, so the gears aren't really cheated. Yeah, no, they're not. That's why I don't want them to be removed. Like, it just sort of an is what it is situation. If you want to, get to that point of doing what they did, then just do what they did. Get the high quality rating for food, use the node buffs. And so what did they do? Then roll back? No, they didn't roll. They rolled. All they did was revert the change. Your character progression did not get rolled back. So if you had materials, if you had crafts, they're all still there in game. The only thing that happened was they reverted the update. That's it. And I believe Steven confirmed it in Discord. Let me see. Winter, time to move the tropics. Yeah, I know. It's not even winter. It's fucking fall. But in Riverlands, this is like winter 1 and then winter is winter 2. Like, I hate how fast the transition is in the fall going to winter. Like, I don't think it needs to, we're literally 5 days away from winter. Like, I think the winter transition can happen. Like, at least you can start seeing snow at like maybe 3 days till winter, but I don't know. Like, it's kind of wild that we still have, stuff like this. Why, then what was the point of the 3 hour downtime? To implement that change. But also, if you look at the bottom of that thing, they also made improvements to server performance because people were crashing to desktop. That was something that was happening early this morning in general chat, that people were literally just not even getting the Unreal crash screen. It was just the game just control deleting itself basically. And so I think it was basically to fix that, plus also adding in that change to the settlement buffs and to the food. So that's what it was. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to go use the bathroom real fast. Sorry if I blew your ears out. 1 second. Let me see. Yep, totally my reaction too. I get not wanting sudden drawing changing to foliage and such, but we had like 2 days of fall max before I started seeing snow. Yeah, that's exactly my thing. I want to experience the actual fall season. I think the I think the first couple of days of fall like is really cool in Ashes. Like you see like the brown yellow leaves, like it looked really fucking cool. I just think the transition to winter is way too fast. It's way too fast. In the anvils, it makes more sense. Well, I think in higher altitude areas, right, it would make more sense, right? Like if you see more snow, it's because you're here next to the mountains, right? Like, but over here, like in the southern part, because you're literally next to the fucking tropics, like you shouldn't basically be seeing snow so early. You know what I mean? If they wanted to go that realistic with it, then fine. But yeah, I'm not a fan of also winter in Ashes doesn't look particularly good too, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of the way winter looks personally. I think but I don't know if I'm a good person to ask on that particular thing, because I've never really cared for winter areas in MMOs. I've never been a fan of them. I think they look very dull and boring. So the snow coverage is based on elevation. Okay. It is that real? Let me see. The issue is the devs told people that it's used that boon you could be banned. Well, it's probably because clearly they had intent to nerf it and they thought it was too high. Well, gotta live with that decision. And again, it is what it is. Like, you know, if we're gonna run this phase out, like what data are you gonna need, you know, right now for this particular boon, you know, or the buffs? Like get the data on the way it is now. Like, how do we not know this is going to be the intended design for endgame, right? Or for level 5 cities? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it supposed to be like, I don't like when buffs feel so, why is it even there? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I want buffs to feel like a buff and not like something you don't even really notice in the background. Like, how is that a buff? You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's like taking some kind of vitamin, you know, like you don't really feel the effects, but you know, you took something. I think that's kind of crap. So. I gotta go all the way back to Jova. I have stuff cooking in the journeyman metal smithing area. Oh, yes. Did I sell all my stuff? Ooh, got my gold. I got some gold. Let's go. Wait, why can't I delete everything? It's not gonna let me? I guess it did take everything. It's just not doing the auto delete. Oh, it's because someone's. Oh, I thought someone was like literally buying more stuff for me like right this second, and that's what was happening. Okay, sweet. Yeah, I don't agree with that, but I can see them on the edge after the fallout from the real cheating. Or wait, but now the 3 to 6k items are okay. I had the mats to craft my heroic grave set, but was told to wait. Now I'm pushed back 30 yards on the field. No, like again, they didn't like if you still have those mats, you can make it now. Like I said, the patch didn't go through. Like you can still do it. Then today I was at 3.6k jewelry quality and was told don't use that or you're banned. A lot of sets were made and my guild is pushed back. Well, again, like the buffs got reverted. So you should be at the same as it was before than it is now. Should. I don't know if it is, but it should. But I can't because we, as a guild, don't use the boon buff exploit, not the food. So wait a minute, because I'm not really all in the know, like, what do you mean exploit? Like, because I thought if you're just a citizen of a certain settlement, you just get those settlement boons inherently. I'll DM you a picture. Okay. Here, I'm going to buy this because I need more space here. That's for sure. Now I'm back to what I had, 23 gold. So it's like, it is not exploit. It's just way overtuned. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I think the intent was like, hey, you know, we wanted to revert this or nerf it, but it's like, and again, there's stuff that's going to be numerical wise. Like, look at gear in general right now. Gear in general is like so overtuned. Having someone in all heroic compared to someone that's all in uncommons has a huge fucking advantage. So, you see, the last few days elixirs were disabled anyway. Yeah, true. So it just sort of just became an is what it is situation. Let me see, large mount bombs. Right. Hold on real fast. My daughter just, they came back. Made it to stream, guys. Well, I'm gonna be going off now. Thank y'all so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. See, do you think now, since people got the over buff, now they get to stay ahead? Well, here's the thing. I think if this change actually went through, I don't think Intrepid would have went and reverted or removed any of the stuff that was being made with those high percentage quality ratings. Like, I don't think they would have done that. So I think reverting the change was the best thing overall, because as you know, high powered gear got made, having that change be implemented would have been far worse than now it being reverted, so that people can actually do the same things those guilds did, you know, or those groups did. Like, again, like alphas and everything like that they're supposed to be kind of shit shows, right? It's not like, you know, and I never, when I spoke to people that have done like, you know, closed alpha testing for, you know, a lot of the older MMOs, it's not like every test was like polished and every system was so good and everything was like very fun and, you know, interactive and everything worked perfectly. Like, that's not how shit happens. Like, usually closed alpha testing is a very stressful and aggravating process. Like, and again, my friend, I've said this story many times on my stream. My friend went to school and actually became a game, not a game dev, but a game tester. He did that job, going to school for it. There's actually a school that you can go for, and he went to it. He did that job for a year and quit willingly because his love of gaming was basically going out the window. And he told me that he would rather just find a new job because he didn't want to actually quit gaming entirely, because it just wasn't giving him the satisfying experience that he thought it was. And, you know, it's the reality, you know what I mean? Like, alpha testing and beta testing a game, like, is not supposed to be fun. So I think a lot of people just want this kind of a two-pronged approach of they want they know they're in an alpha, but they want a very polished experience, you know, and they want everything the very first time to any implementation, the very first time should just work and be amazing. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that's not the reality. You know what I mean? That's just not how it happens. Let me see. Hello. By chance, do you know if I can get the Glory Bound recipes? I've been looking all over. Cryptic. Yeah, you can. There's people selling them here on Shoal. I don't know what server you're on, but yeah, there's a lot of people that are selling them and have them, at least here on Shoal. Let me see. Then set it to $10 and it's fine, but $50, then all this happens is a rough sell. Well, no one's forcing you to buy it for $50. Like, I bought it for $375. Like, some people bought it for $500. So, I mean, it's one of those things that, like, you are actually purchasing it at the cheapest entry point than any of us have ever done. It's, you know, like, if you don't want to test, if you don't want to be a part of it, then don't. This is why I tell people on my stream, see, now I'm doing the Billie Jean thing with like, Billie Jean is not my lover. I'm just joking. I probably don't want to get copyright striked. Let me see. I feel like Ashes of Creation is better than a lot of the other MMOs in alpha. Games like Throne of Liberty ruin themselves with time gating and monetization. Well, I think honestly, I'm okay with time gating to a certain extent. I'm not okay with pay to win. And monetization with Korean MMOs has always been really fucking atrocious, which is why I can never ever play a Korean MMO. Let's see. A lot of game devs I know just moved to other industries making bank software and shit. Twice the money and half the hours and 1/4 of the stress, probably 100%. Better than a lot of games that are live. Right. And again, I understand from people that are like, you know, oh, but why is it in early access? Why is it on Steam? And it's just like, again, I feel like some people just can't help themselves and they want everything to be on early access to be at this standard. But I remember talking to Wolfhard FPS, who's a huge Baldur's Gate 3 content creator and was there the entire 3 years in early access. And the game had a lot of fucking problems, but yet people were very positive. You know what I mean? But it still had problems. I mean, yeah, you can say like, oh, it was because the reason why, you know, people were very positive because it was Larian. Well, that's true, but they had a lot of issues every time. Like every new patch, there was like issues after issues after issues. And, you know, but no one, I'm not saying no one complained. There was, of course, people complaining, but I feel like with Ashes, people just expect Intrepid to be like perfect, like all the time. And I just think that's just very unrealistic from any gaming, any game dev company. You know what I'm saying? Is AOC going to be free with monthly sub on release? Ashes of Creation is not going to have a box cost. All you need to do at release to play Ashes of Creation is go to the website, put in your credit card, and it'll deduct $15 a month every month. That's it. Let me see. RMT is the same as pay to win, as it was shown. And RMT is something that every MMO is plagued with. Every MMO. Name me an MMO that doesn't have pay to win. Like every MMO has pay to win. And it's hard to eliminate. And this is why I think Intrepid needs to take very drastic measures in order to mitigate it. I'm not saying remove because I think removing is impossible, but to mitigate it as much as humanly possible. I want it to feel like Lysol bacterial spray where it eliminates 99.99% of bacteria. But there's always that 0.1. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I want. I want it to be as mitigated as possible. Feels like you have lost your own opinion since you have started the content creator program. We get it. It's an alpha, but Intrepid sold this as early access and advertised the launch with missing system. I don't think I'm missing or I've lost my own opinion. I've always had the same opinion. In my opinion, every single time when a person asks me if they should purchase it in early access, I've always told them no. You can literally go back and look at any live stream I've ever done. You can ask people that have been in my community for a long period of time. I have never promoted to buy Ashes of Creation, and nor have I ever said that moving to early access was the goated move. I was always against it from day one. So you can still have that opinion if you want, but that's not the truth. Let me see. Please do not blame Ashes for RMT. It is the buyer's fault. We have RMT. People stop buying the RMT, it goes away. Well, for sure. But people are always going to feel like, you know, they want to chase the honeypot. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of gamer dads just feel like, well, I have money, I don't have time. And so it's easy to buy something that you don't really have the money to earn. and you want to be competitive, right? Like that's how a lot of the RMT basically works. Let me see. So the system of Harbingers is apparently not broken according to the devs. Well, I would say, do they play their own game in that sense? Because every person that I've seen go into the Harbingers event, a lot of the materials are meaningless there. There is gear that can drop from the corrupted events, but there's also the bug of like where you can literally go combatant in towns that I don't think has been fixed. So it's kind of crazy. If devs did say that, that's very wildly inaccurate to what the reality is. Just sitting down from a long day at work. What's the TLDR of the patch getting reverted? So exit, basically what happened was they implemented a nerf to settlement buff for quality and also food by from 10 to 30%. So from 30% to 10%, which basically moved up the ladder of people who crafted early and made like epic, crafts with rare pieces. Basically it was a universal L. Everybody was not liking the change. There was a huge hoopla on the Alpha 2 Discord, and they reverted it. So basically it was a day wasted in the sense of that particular change, but I think they did keep the server issue or the server performance changes they did, which there was people earlier today that were just hard crashing to desktop when they were playing Ashes. And so that was another one. Let me see. This is a rumor because I don't watch him, but Dusty was killing the boss last night in Shoal, and they disabled the force flag for Harbinger event to stop people dying in towns from the event hitting them when they weren't in it. Oh, interesting. But if they were, so how does that work then? Did they just disable it for that group, for Dusty's group, or was it just disabled overall? Like I'm curious about that. Let me see. Dang, thank you for the information. Much love, dude. Yeah, dude, thank you so much, brother. Yeah, because I would love to know that. See, yeah, the crashing got fixed for me and many others I know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because there was a lot of people I saw early in the morning that were just being like, is anyone like hard crashing to desktop without even like a UE 5 crash error? And there was a lot of people that were doing that. Overall, walking into the Harbinger ring isn't a PvP event for the time being. Ah, okay. Well, there you go. Well, at least that's something. I don't know if that's going to entice a lot of the level 25s to go into the Harbinger event, but it would be interesting if that is going to be something now of a loop for at least level 25s to do. Because for a long time, that wasn't the case. As well as general performance and some sneak update the last few days or so. Yeah, I mean, like I said, usually what's so funny to me is that there's always secret patch notes in the patch notes. Like there's things that they say like, oh, there's only one fix, but yet that one fix is like a 1.9 gig download. You mean to tell me that you added just one fix and I'm downloading 2 gigs worth of a patch for a line of code? Like I always feel like there's a lot of shit always being added, but I also feel like that's potential like backend assets or, things that, we can't see yet that are just like in the background, but I don't know. I just thought my PC was acting up. I think a lot of people did. That's why people were asking in general, because they wanted to know, like, is this just me or is there anyone else having this issue? And I think a lot of people felt like a sigh of relief that other people were having that issue and it wasn't just them. Because imagine if you were the only one having that issue and you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. That would have fucking sucked. So it's a good thing they made that change. I think if anything, that was probably the best thing, right? To do that change for those people hard crashing, because I know the pain, man. Like whenever I was getting hard crashed every hour or 2 hours, what was it in phase 3, not early access, but phase 3 in September. God, it sucks so bad. Let me see. Any fix would require the re-download of that packet. If they just went added fix, it can affect so many other things. They need to double check it. Oh, interesting. I never realized like how the back end worked when it came to patching. That's pretty interesting. Let me see. It's worst when it's DLC and it's a 1 kilobyte download, meaning it came out with the game. Oh yeah, because they basically lock it behind like a very small thing kind of thing. kind of like World of Warcraft. They just like turn shit on in their back, and it's like, all right, now the thing, like, you can go to the expansion now. You know what I mean? So it's like you have the whole expansion downloaded, but it's like you can't access it until they flip the switch, kind of thing. And you see a good point. They may be a part of obfuscating for the data miners can see. Well, they've been doing that. I know, because there were some content creators that were data mining back in phase 1 and 2, and now they can't. Like all that. That's why you don't have Ash's Codex anymore, because there's no real way to do it efficiently, because they kind of locked that kind of data mining the data mining portion of it. You see why New World had so many returning issues. When they fix something, they push the fix only, not the things that it could affect. Well, brother, I did not play New World. I don't know how New World operated when it came to patch cycles or anything like that, because I literally never played New World in that extent. Isn't this the Shao Kahn from the Finney Files? I believe so. And he, Shao Kahn was here. She's like, or he's like, I'm on the files. What the fuck? Like, but it's like I said, you know, I saw Zybak's video on it, on the whole Finney Files, and again, I'm of the thing where it seemed really fishy. Overall, the whole thing just seemed really fishy. And this is why I take everything like that with a grain of salt, because everybody always has an agenda, and it's never an agenda that you would think of. And I feel like, again, if certain people are doing shit, there will be justice. There will be those comeuppances. And I feel like if you're actually legitimately clean, that'll also come out too. You know what I'm saying? Do you know or see the fact that he was paid to release the files? From what I know, is that he paid Finney access to his information. Like, that's what I heard. So again, I think Zybek was right. I think Finney is just trying to extort people. I think Finney's just wanting money. That's it. I think it's just a very simple, you know, very simple thing. He just wants money, and he's using drama baiting and, you know, this kind of stuff to probably do that. So let me see, lukewarm take maybe, but I like that a lot. I totally get wanting everything indexed and ultra slimlined and efficient. Accessible, did I say accessible? This game is the first MMO since the this game is the first MMO since the early 2000s, where I feel like the world matters, or where word of mouth matters. Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff we've been doing in the community lately, like, I feel like we, like, as a community, we are listened to. Like, and I felt that throughout the entire process of, you know, being here for over a year. But there's like sometimes where I feel like they just go deaf, right? I think they get too focused on what they're doing that they forget to listen to what we're saying. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of dev companies have that issue, because I think sometimes they are very much in their hermit style, laser focused, really trying to pump out and get this thing out to them, that they're not paying attention to what's been going on the past couple of days or whatever. Like, sometimes devs aren't in Discord, because being in Discord and being, you know, in the know of everything is taken away from their work that they need to concentrate on and finish, basically, you know? So I wonder how much it costs for someone's name to be left out of the Finney file. I don't know. I don't know, man. $3 and I'll leave your name off my list. I thought you were going to say, oh, just give me a WoW token and you won't be on my list. Oh, shit. Well, let me see, guys. I'm probably going to go ahead and take off. Like, my wife's coming home, right? Or she already just came home. We're going to eat some food. I just wanted to come on and chat with you guys for a little bit, because I'm probably just going to go to sleep early tonight. I am fucking tired. My daughter, my 6-month-old, she's been teething like crazy, and she's been waking up more and more because her teeth are literally going to burst out of her gums any day now. Like 4 of them, actually. I feel all 4 of them, but they're just not broken yet. And I have not slept, and it's been hard. Me and my wife are super fucking tired. So I wanted to just stream early, so that way I don't stream too late, and that way I can go to sleep. Let me see, in terms of finding out information or mechanics about items, where to find an item, rumors, unreliable narrators may get involved. It creates a sense of increased mystery and scale to me. Well, for sure. I mean, and I think drama is what makes Game of Thrones really great, right? And I've always said Ashes of Creation is the pseudo MMO for Game of Thrones. Like it just is. Like, and there's a lot of little fingers in our community. There's a lot of nefarious individuals that love to drama bait and love to do shit. So yeah, I just want to take my time for this. Thank you all so much for following, all the new players, all the new people that I came and found me. Thank you so much. Again, my name is Vladis. I stream Ashes of Creation. I try to stream it every single day for at least a couple of hours. And yeah, if you're watching me right now and you're not subscribed to YouTube, just hit that button. It'll keep you up to date anytime I release a video or I go live. If you're watching me on Twitch, hit that follow button. It'll keep you up to date anytime I go live there. So yeah, let me see. Cheers, brother. Hug your family. Enjoy your rest of your evening. Thanks for the stream. I came in late though. Yeah, Horror Dude, thank you so much, man. It was nice meeting you. I hope to see you again soon. And thank you all so much. Like I said, Demon, thank you so much for the follow, brother. Y'all have a good one. And let me see who is streaming. Let me see. We got Dusty. Excuse me. Oh. Sorry, my brain is just like feels like Swiss cheese. All right, I'll just go to Whetstone. He's a viewer of the channel too. He's a solo player, and I think he has good conversations with his community. So I'll go raid him. He's actually new too. He just entered into Ashes, I think, in phase 3. So he's relatively new to the community as well. But all right, guys. Thank you all so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great weekend, and thank you all.